Good evening, and welcome back to Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. I had an idea, and I executed that idea. And then just like the Streets of Rogue videos, I lost my audio, and there was no recovering it. So we're here to do it again, but this time, better and brighter. With these ducks, we shall do something incredible. Something I have never done before. Someone probably has. Oh, wrong button. There we go. We are going to create a pantheon. These will be the gods, the titans, and the primordial beings of the duck world. Starting with here, I will maintain the same name that I created the first time. This is Garth. Garth simply was. Garth was a being that is questionable to even call a being. Garth is nature, science, everything. Without Garth, the world doesn't exist. Neither will this pantheon. It is said that Garth has taken mortal form few times in the history of knowledge and time. It was with Garth's presence that inspired the universe to exist, and all things that come from it truly come from Garth. As Garth moved his way into the mortal realm, something odd happened. Some may call it inspiration. I call it an accident. As Garth had breathed life into existence, he sneezed the next being. The Earth. Terra Firma. It was with space dust and cosmic radiation that caused the great sneeze that brought in the minerals that you see in space, on the planet, in the dirt. Terra Firma. The first titan born of Garth's primordial, more than primordial, universal existence. Some may believe that Garth travels dimensions, but there's no way to prove that. No way to measure that. How could you? It would be odd if you could. It'd be kind of cool too, actually. I think that'd be neat. I'd like to see it. If you know how to measure parallel or varying universes, I'd like to know. Hit me up. Or any scientist. Any of them. They could be an ornithologist. I'm sure they'd be intrigued. Who wouldn't be? Anyway. Terra Firma created the very land in which these ducks occasionally stand on. They prefer water, though. These are aquatic exclusive ducks, more or less. When found on land, they rarely move without the assistance of extraneous abilities. But once, as great vibrations shook the head of Terra Firma, she let out a howl, a yelp, a quack so powerful, the very resonance broke off a piece of the earth, and that gave birth to Nick, the duck. Nick the duck is not exactly exceptional as far as duck lords go. However, compared to the lesser being ducks that have yet to be born, as this is the creation of everything, Nick the Duck. Nick the Duck is pretty impressive for mortal duck standards. He's real fast. Like, real fast. Like, that's how fast. I had no idea. Yeah, no, he can they say he can travel the world in one night. The world that Terra Firma has created. One night. At an unbelievable speed. The power to levitate oneself through single, very thin chutes of space. Like, think a cave that just went straight down. And it was just like a meter wide. He could just go whoop, right up that. All he's got to do is touch his beak. And then away they go. Nick the Duck is an offshoot. An ugly duckling. A black sheep. Does not fit in with the other duck lords. But, you know, useful in their own way. They love to give. And that's what good old Saint Duck here. Saint the Duck. Nicholas the Duck. Nick the Duck. That's what he represents. Gifts. And, the spirit of giving. And it was in his ability to give. He tried to give a gift to Garth. A wooden duck made of wood. Red wood. Literally red wood. Maybe redwoods. But red wood. You know? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And thus we have the god duck of the forests. With the sneeze that brought Terra Firma into existence. That same power breathed into this crafted duck of wood. Red wood. The forests grew into being. Some of them bore fruit. Some of them didn't bear fruit. You know? Because it's just the way we define fruits. This... Wow, I didn't even come up with a name. Mahogany. I'm just going to call this duck Mahogany. Is the word I wanted to say a bunch, but I don't know the color of mahogany. I think it's reddish, but... Ugh. I'm not a woodologist. Mahogany... The red duck. The redwood duck. And I don't even know if redwoods are really that red on the inside. Their bark might be. I've only been there like 3 times. Yes, anyway. And with those fruits... The fruits of Mahogany and Terra Firma, their strengths combined, their powers utilized, gave birth to... Well, okay, see, half these names I just want to use the names of other gods because that's where a lot of these names come from. But we'll go classic. We'll go very classic. We'll go Sol. S-O-L. Sol. The duck of warmth. The duck of the sun. Where does nature thrive if not under the sunlight? In the warmth that the sun gives, as is symbolized by the sweater. The sweater itself. Because once the sun vanishes from one side of the earth, the sweater also represents the cold, the lack of the warmth that the sun gives off, the umbra of its absence. Get out of here, Garth. Yeah. And so, many ducks, they believe that Sol came before Mahogany. But they're wrong. 'Tis a myth. A myth of myths in this mythology. The warmth of Sol comes from the very radiation within the cosmos that Garth is the father of. Father is just a convenient word. Garth has no gender. Garth simply is. You could say it applies to all these ducks. That they simply are. They're androgynous by nature. I mean, look at them. How would you categorize that in a gender? You can't. And if you can, you're lying. You can't. Unless you're an ornithologist, then maybe you're onto something. Because I'll trust you on ducks. It only makes sense. Anyway, the next being breathed into existence from this exceptional group is a bit odd of a story. This comes from the cold created. Now, within the cold doesn't necessarily mean it will be born from coldness, as it is dope looking. That looks cool as hell. This here is Liko, derived from Loki, but only derived from, as Liko, this is the duck of facade, the duck of bold-faced lies. This is a lesser god duck, similar to that of Nick the duck, as this duck represents that all lies, all falsifications, hiding under a pure shell, eventually crack and show the flaws beneath. However, all of these ducks are flawed. It's the nature of things. However, while flaws can look distasteful to some eyes, they can also look cool as hell. But they should not be used for mischievity, mischievousness. Shouldn't be used for malicious endeavors, but to be accepted as part of oneself is the lesson that we gain from Liko. And you can see that in the light of soul, you can still shine bright. So much so that you want to move to the next one, because the bloom is really high. Oh. Telios. Turquoisio. I'm gonna go with Telios because it sounds way cooler. Telios was once a mortal duck. Oh wow, it sounds like Talos. Telios was a mortal duck. A demi-duck, truly. A spawn between Liko and a mortal. Telio is one who gave agriculture to the mortal ducks, as is seen by their relationship with Mahogany. Telios went to Mahogany shortly after their birth. Once reaching some reasonable age, they're ducks, I don't know, sought out the knowledge and guidance of Mahogany to somehow take the very fruits of the lands and cultivate them, so that the mortal ducks, which struggled from sickness, ailments, could thrive with an abundance of their resources. And that abundance was brought on by Telios, taking the knowledge that Mahogany had bestowed upon them after 10 years, 10 days, and 10 nights, and 10 months. Put that in the right order. It was Telios who then let and allowed the mortal ducks to thrive. But where one thrives, some may perish. And the story maintains the same as it was last. Here we have Arios. I don't know if that's a real thing. Arios here, the duck of destruction. Of wanton destruction. The duck of flagrant? Is that the word I want? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Flagrant destruction. Seeking only to conquer what needs no conquering. Arios is but a fiend to all the other ducks. Arios represents, within that destruction, two sides of the same coin, such as volcanoes, seen as Terra Firma's anger, but was not born of Terra Firma. The war waged upon the mortal ducks and their growing strength due to Telios' intervention, or had attempted to take Terra Firma's wherever they are in the little pool, the private pool, Terra Firma's creation and life, and use it to create molten madness that would destroy, burn all that Telios and Mahogany had worked to create, not knowing that within that destruction created soil more fertile than ever, allowing the teachings of Telios to thrive even further and to wage a balance war, a war of balance between Arios and the mortal ducks. And Arios falls every so often, only to return with greater power. The likes of tsunamis, earthquakes, eruptions, all that you could expect. Okay, wow, alright. To destroy the very things that the mortal ducks have worked for. Now I actually get a wooden duck. I actually get a wooden duck. You gotta be kidding me. Born of Mahogany and Telios' close relationship, we have some of the first signs of duck ingenuity. Here, we have Arctos. Arctos with a CH as architecture. Arctos here is that of construction, of building, of growth. Growth in the sense of morality and population. In society. In a lot of things, really. A lot of growth, a lot of growing. Arctos here helped develop techniques for stronger buildings to further aid the ducks' war against Arios. This name scheme is getting confusing. And through Arctos' strengths, they've been able to grow and fend off and create more intricate, interesting, and effective defenses against Arios' mongering. Arctos has allowed them to create skyscrapers, underground bunkers and basements that can defend against the tornadoes, seawalls that can defend against tsunamis, and supports and foundations secured against the very shaking of the earth. However, Arctos here still maintains a weakness. That weakness is Arios' greatest strength. That of fire. The burning passion and hatred for those it cannot control. And through that fire, Arios has created an ally. Bear with me. Tetsujin. In Japanese, that I feel like may reference being made of iron, an iron person. Tetsujin sounds like oxygen. Ugh. Bear with me. Isn't not an ally of Arios, though originally posed as such in creating weapons of destruction. The metallurgy that Tetsujin had born had become a very, very useful tool for the mortal ducks. And this tool has allowed these ducks to wage war against the very power that threatens them. The power of the terrible nutcracker, Arios. It is a war that will go on for eternity, as Arios will use every tool he can to stop the mortal ducks, Titanic, from surpassing the strength of these gods, as that is Arios' true intent beneath all the forefront of destruction, because he does like it, thinks it's fun. But if somehow these mortals were to outstrength these godly ducks with their science, their technology, their numbers, what would become of them? They may fall, or they may be worshipped. They may be held in spite, if they are held at all. For as time goes on, they may be very well forgotten, which could truly be the best case scenario, but we will not forget. We will carry on with the knowledge, the curse of this knowledge, the curse of the knowledge of, wrong one, of Will Ferrell. This duck's just a doof, like just a, if you'll pardon me, a silly goose. But that will be it for this Pantheon, and I thank you so much for bearing with me on this adventure through the mythos of duck. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more of my stuff, check it out. You're already here. If you want to see more of my stuff that comes out, hit subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.